Hello, everybody, and welcome to OpenExO Live. It's really great to be with you. Evening for me here, but wherever you are in the world, great to be here. And I can already see some folks on LinkedIn just saying hi. We've got greetings from Cape Town and Johannesburg, as well as India. So really great to see folks saying hi. If you have any questions during today or just want to say hi as well, please do drop a comment in the chat as we speak this evening. And so this evening, we have Liezel van Rooyen and Craig Terblanche with us. And I am struggling a little bit today with my images. So as you can see, we also have a number of amazing people coming up from all over the world. Next week, we have Matteo, who is based in Italy. And so before we get Craig and Liezel up onto the stage, I did want to just share some words from some of our community members. And the first one comes from Fabrice. And he just said, Liezel van Rooyen and Craig Terblanche are great innovators and game changers, having a passion for creating a better future for Africa. Through their initiatives, they are democratizing entrepreneurship, enabling a new generation of African leaders to bring innovative solutions and solve some crucial problems in the continent. We also have Sahar, who said, I was fortunate to work with Liezel during my EXO coach certification. Liezel is fun to work with and a great team player. She leads with authenticity and genuinely works to positively contribute to the world. I wish her all the best with the work she's doing. I met Craig on the EXO coach certification. He is a natural leader and is always supportive of his team. Following his work with EXO Futures, I can see the impact he wants to create in the world. I have no doubt he's doing great things. Then Sanjay just said, Craig is has a genuine care for people, for society, and making a mark. He is very practical and passionate about the entrepreneurial mind, very supportive, and gives his knowledge and time. I've personally gained stacks from engaging with him, participating in various calls with him, and reading through a lot of that which he has published. Liezel is a truly grounded soul, all heart and all about people. She has a wealth and depth of knowledge about all things people, what makes us do what we do, why we do it, and how we can do it better. I've attended several of her online initiatives aimed at enhancing entrepreneurship, and every time walked away better off, having discovered a new way of doing and being, and more importantly, left with more interesting questions to reflect and work on. And then we also have from Vishal, I had the great pleasure of working with in the team with Craig and Liezel during my time at the EXO Sprint. The vision that both of them have to make an exponential impact in South Africa is truly inspiring. Their knowledge, understanding, and ability to execute various aspects of the EXO framework is highly commendable. They are very likable human beings with well-developed emotional intelligence, and it has been a great pleasure for me to have worked with them. So those were just some of the messages that we got from some community members. And so I'm going to invite Craig and Liezel up onto the screen. How are the two of you doing, Liezel? Let's start with you.
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. And thank you very much for having us here today. And I must say, I got tears in my eyes. Thank you to everybody for those beautiful words that they've shared about the work we have been doing.
Awesome, awesome. So I always start OpenExO Live by asking the folks who are on the show to give a bit of background about yourself, and essentially, what brought you into the OpenExO community. So I don't know, Liezel, maybe we can start with you. I think you and Craig have a bit of a dovetailed story, so maybe it'll be a bit back and forth.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I also just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us here and investing your time. It really means a lot to us. So you are actually a bit right there, Kevin. I actually have a very short story to share. It's all Craig's fault. I met Craig. I met Craig in 2015 for the first time, and we've been working together since then. But on a more serious note, when I worked with Craig in one of his business entities called EXO Systems at the time in 2019, Craig inspired his entire management team to complete the Global Institute Masters Business course. And then Craig and myself continued and completed all the OpenExO certifications, including the foundations, the consultant, the sprint coach, and the workshop trainer certifications. But I think Craig has a far more interesting story to share than I do.
Oh, my word. All I can say is wow, and thank you for all of those comments from the team. It really brought back some memories around, some of the good times we had learning about this stuff. But the journey started back in 2019, Kevin, when we met you and Salim and people like Jabeen at the Topco event that Ralph arranged. And before that, I'd actually read the Exponential Transformation book, and it kind of hadn't really sunk in initially. But once after I'd seen Salim on stage, and I came across at that event, I came across the Exponential Transformation playbook. I thought, no, there definitely is something in this. I need to get into this, in more depth and in more detail. And I read the book again. And I have to say, I've told many people that it was a life-changing book for me. Just in terms of changing one's mindset, opening your mind to new possibilities, and getting away from a scarcity mindset, which is so predominant in Africa, and beginning to really think about the art of the possible and get beyond, what we can't do to what we really can do to make a difference in Africa. So, yeah, that was the start of the journey. Then, we had quite a challenge with digital transformation in the Exosystems business where Liezel and I were working at the time, because if companies think that it's about technology, they get it wrong. So using the Exponential Transformation playbook and certifications and approach. So in the systems business, we put on top of and used our advisory capability to execute on the Exponential Transformation sprint to go into business with a business-led transformation rather than trying to do a tech transformation in the organization. So that gave us, on top of our digital transformation playbook, the ability to have a proper business conversation at the right level, with a view to really moving the needle 5 to 10 years forward and doing a future next scenario that drives where you go. And as Liezel mentioned, the Master Business course, I got my whole management team to do that, and that was with Kent. That was awesome. And then we did a number of the certifications across the business. So that was through 2019, and that kind of flew. 2019 disappeared, having done all of those certifications, although I think we finished the training one in 2020. So we used the playbook to really take customers on a change and transformation journey.
Absolutely. I mean, it's quite crazy to think it's only been sort of 3 years. I guess 2020 sort of doesn't count.
But it does. It feels like at least 5. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a roller coaster, and it's been awesome.
100% right. And so it's very interesting. You mentioned digital transformation, and of course in the video in the countdown, we have had a new video playing there, which we created around the weighing up digital transformation versus exponential transformation, and how often with digital transformation it's tech first and it's how do I digitize my current process, right? Whereas exponential transformation is, wait, let's step back, let's look at what needs to be done, and actually let's start with what is the purpose. And so we always like to ask people, well, what is your personal MTP? So Liezel, welcome back. a few AV issues there, but can you tell us about your personal MTP?
Absolutely. Just want to check. You can still hear me clearly, Doug. Do you?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the key for everybody to know and understand is that even before you get to your business MTP, it's very important that you define your own personal MTP, something that inspires you on a daily basis to get up. And I'm going to apologize in advance if I become teary at stages when we talk about our MTPs, but that's exactly what should happen, isn't it? So my personal massive transformative statement is to empower every human being to be the hero of their own life story, fulfill their purpose, and master their destiny. So my contribution, Kevin, is to equip entrepreneurs with this capability, as I am extremely passionate about the pivotal role they will play in the future world.
Awesome. That's really awesome. And yourself, Craig?
Yeah, no, awesome. Mine is short and sweet. And when I shared this with Kent originally, he said, "Wow, that's way too big." So it's to democratize entrepreneurship in Africa, and it has turned out to be too massive. But we carry on. We keep on swimming, as Nemo would say.
Yes.
Or was it Dory? It was Dory.
Dory. That's correct. But of course, it doesn't, being massive and transformative is a big part of it, right? And having those sort of moonshot goals along the way that are going to get you to your MTP is what's really important, right? Looking at embracing the EXO model in order to leverage the attributes to get you there. So how would you say in the organizations that you're running, which are really focused on that transformation as well as democratization of entrepreneurship, how would you say you're embracing the EXO model?
I'm going to just take a step back to there's a bit more in terms of the MTP. So in the group, we've got the systems business, we've got the advisory business, we've got the training business, which is EXO Futures that Liezel runs, and then we've got the that's COVID, eh? COVID does that. Makes you say the wrong words, although I'm fully recovered. And then we've got the innovation factory. So there's those four areas of the business, and one of the things that's been quite a challenge is to get alignment across the four areas and really get everybody pulling in the same direction. So at a group level, we've developed the MTP that says our mission or our purpose is to accelerate Africa's inclusive economic growth through cooperative platform business ventures. So that's kind of pulling everything together across those four areas of the business. And then Liezel, do you want to talk to the futures one?
Yes, absolutely. And I think what you also mentioned there, Craig, is that within the group, we are supporting each other. It's our own ecosystem. And therefore, it's important that what we're doing on the future side is that we need to support what we are doing on the EXO group side and within the other entities. So on the EXO future side, our MTP is to accelerate Africa's transformation to economic freedom with future now capability. So what we are doing is we're providing the platform where our community can meet, share their skills, their experience, and their expertise, while they can also get the opportunity to earn from doing so. So I think, Kevin, maybe at this point in time, what's very important to help us build the future now skills capability to enable our entrepreneurs to be successful in Africa is we've done some research into what the roadblocks are to sustainable business growth for our SMEs and entrepreneurs in Africa. And we would like people to participate in that survey so that we can help more people out there. So please share the bit.ly link, growafricanow.com, and please do participate in that survey so that we can help you and all our other SMEs and entrepreneurs in Africa more with the Future Now capability they need.
Awesome. That's really cool. And so I know that there's, like you say, there's a few business pieces going on there, and so
too many moving parts. Yeah.
If you look at where you're embracing different attributes, what would you say are the attributes that are sort of top of mind that you are embracing?
I think let's start with EXO Futures again, since that's where we left off. It's safe to say, Kevin, that we are using all the attributes, obviously starting with the NTP and using the remainder of the 10 attributes, but there's a lot to share. So as you said, what comes to mind and what's top of mind is definitely leveraging the community and crowd attributes, where we are building this ecosystem to allow our decentralization and self-organizing communities to establish itself. And those are obviously communities that buys into our NTP. Then from there, we also are utilizing the algorithms attribute. So data plays quite an important role for us to enable the community in terms of, as an example, a search function where the entrepreneurs can find each other who has similar interest and would like to start up and give birth to an innovative solution, but also the matching function where our investors and venture capitalists can find our innovative entrepreneurs and innovative ideas that they would like to invest in. And maybe a last one that's very important to us is the social attribute, where we are using knowledge nuggets, which are essentially these bite-sized Future Now skills programs, as well as live webinars that enables our entrepreneurs to acquire the skill sets, the future skill sets they need. So we're using those knowledge nuggets and live webinars and workshops as the social object in the social attribute for the communication and the engagement to start taking place, which is what we need within the community. But I think Craig has a lot more interesting stuff to share what we're doing with Rooyen and EXO Group as a whole.
Yeah. So my favorite attribute is the experimentation one. And I think, critically leveraging the community to share what they've learned on the ground to help each other to move the needle forward, but through really validating and experimenting and using things like prototyping to get to the nub of what you can do next. And what we find is that it's often not the most obvious things. It's not what you would assume it is, and it's often not what the expert thinks it is once you get out into the community. So in our Rooyen model, which is a whole different story, it's kind of a go-to-market where we're implementing the innovation factory concept. We're using digital pioneers to enable SMME or small and medium business digitization. And these are guys who are just, tech savvy and digitally literate enough to help anybody to participate in the digital economy. Through a whole set of tools, which I won't go into detail on, but really doing that from the ground up, and then from the corporate side. And the whole point is to give people the opportunity to participate in, through digital inclusion. You create economic inclusion. So the more we can get people to digitize, the more they are able to actually participate in the big business arenas, where we're trying to create and implement disruptive business models at scale. And then we leverage the data and the insights. So back to the attributes, to help everybody be more effective, understand where the weaknesses are in the ecosystem, so that, kind of in a community network of economic flow, you understand what you can do to improve things and improve the flow. So
that's that's
a mouthful.
Like fantastic, and I mean I get a lot of work. I mean, experimentation, whilst it's an amazing attribute, it is a really, really tough one, right? Because I think it was in the Everyday Astronaut video where the guy was running around SpaceX speaking to Elon Musk, and he one thing that he said, which was pretty awesome was most of us have a mental straitjacket, right? Because we grew up in a school which told us that the questions that were asked were right and we must give the right answer versus actually just asking better questions, or completely changing the question. And so it's really hard for so many people to actually ask those questions and then fail as well, right? To run an experiment which just fails miserably is really hard for people who perhaps are a lot more traditional thinking, and even myself, right, who's like been in this sort of world for a long time. When we run an experiment and it fails, and it's don't fall in love with this because it may fail, but it's so hard, right? So really kudos and all the best there with all of that. So you've mentioned quite a few projects that you are working on. Anything in particular you really want to highlight around some of those projects?
Yeah, I think I've said a number of times that our problem isn't unemployment; it's actually employment. So we need to create employment at scale, and net new jobs are not coming from corporates, and government can't magically create jobs. So they can't close the digital divide without some kind of disruptive entrepreneurship. So we've got a number of projects that are, along the lines of how might we create the future that we want to see in Africa that's driven by digital inclusion and fuel economic inclusion. So I think I'll start with the Rooyen Open Marketplace, which is where we provide digital access for SMEs to participate more effectively in the economy by digitizing their supply chains. So it's not just a website, it's really the ability to connect to the market effectively and have a full order to cash, process and ability to participate digitally without needing to do all of the development and all that kind of thing, and really to learn that you can actually go through the steps of getting an order and getting paid all the way to getting paid with a frictionless kind of process that digital enables, and giving as many people as possible the ability to put their product catalog up, put their services up, but also track delivery. So it's not just a Shopify, it's the full experience of like an Uber-like experience or a platform kind of experience that you would get with that full process. So that's the Rooyen Open Marketplace. And what happens there then is we go into kind of vertically integrated marketplaces or digitally integrated marketplaces. I'm not sure if it's vertical or horizontal. We've had this debate, but for example, we're setting up for civil society a marketplace that instead of all of these NGOs being excluded from participating in the digital economy, they're able to get involved and participate. And the first project there is on what we call the independent observer mission for the elections, where all of the independent observers that are coming from civil society and the NGOs get registered, and they're able to report incidents and that type of thing. So it's a bit tangential from what we're really keen to do, but we got approached to help with, given that the elections are kind of under duress and all sorts of funny things going on. We won't go into the politics, but we're helping with that kind of thing. And the nice thing about that is, it gives us the reach to many organizations countrywide who can go and recruit, for example, these digital pioneers, so that we can really do the stuff at scale. We can't do one accelerator at a time or one set of startups at a time. We really have to find a way to create jobs at scale. So that's the mission, and we're having fun. And then lastly, we're building an impact chain because on the blockchain, and there we're looking at how we can possibly integrate that to the exo economy, where one of the critical things is with grant funding and impact funding, people don't know where the money's going. They can't demonstrate where it's gone to. They can't show the value of the input and the output. So we want to measure things, outcomes like net new jobs. We don't want to just, take money and say we did something and who knows what happened kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think to add to that, Kevin, it's very important that we support all these initiatives from an EXO Futures perspective as well. So what we have done is we have created a Future Now capability framework to support the Rooyen Manifesto, which I hope we can get some time to touch on, and briefly Craig did touch on that as well. So this framework now supports funding syndication, SME empowerment and digitization, venture acceleration, future skills, and then, of course, ecosystem transformation. So we've created programs around all of that, and we look at our community to participate in and to also contribute actively to this framework. Very important skills in helping us create and jobs, and that's doing that at scale as well.
Absolutely. And I definitely think that that we could keep going for quite some time, but the time has sort of run to the end. And so a massive thank you to both of you for joining us. But as we end off, what is it that you sort of want to leave people with who are watching this live right now, or those who are watching this as the recording?
I think there's a huge opportunity in Africa, to participate and contribute to the ecosystem that drives digital and financial inclusion. And we're not looking to create the next 20 or 100 unicorns. We're looking to create thousands of sustainable businesses that that provide jobs for the people of Africa, and create that digital competitiveness that allows us to also compete globally. So we focus, and to do that you need to focus on entrepreneurship, and we need to have hairy, audacious goals and a massive transformative purpose that leads us to that outcome. So that's the mission that we're on.
Awesome. Liezel, any last words from you as we sign off today?
I think all I can say is ditto to what Craig has just said, and just to ask people to please join us in helping us to create these jobs in Africa and build sustainability and contribute to the livelihoods of all the people in Africa. So from a skills perspective, complete the survey, help us to understand how we can remove these roadblocks that are preventing our entrepreneurs. So join us. I don't know if, Kevin, you're going to share any of our contact details, or if we could, but we are on LinkedIn. You can find us there as well.
Absolutely.
And thank you. And just thank you to you and OpenExO for giving us this opportunity as well. Thanks.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank
100%.
you.
So you can definitely find Craig and Liezel on the OpenExO community, on LinkedIn, I'm sure other social platforms. It's a pleasure to chat to you guys. We'll see you around in the community, and thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you,
Thanks
everybody.
very much,
Bye-bye.
Kevin. Thanks, Liezel.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
So that was Craig and Liezel with us this evening for me. So join us again next week, where we will be speaking with Matteo from Italy. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you again next week.